In the West, they take an oath of silence. In Mexico, they rely on military force. But in the frozen, unforgiving underworld of Russia, they bleed for their code. And the men who survive long enough to reach the top wish they had bled a little more and thought a little less about what they were climbing toward. The Russian Bratva is not just a mafia. It is a brutal brotherhood forged in the harshest prison camps on Earth. The gulags, where men had nothing left except the code they refused to break. Where the only currency that mattered was loyalty. And the only punishment for breaking that loyalty was permanent. To survive in the Bratva, you must obey without question. To rise, you must become something that the person you were before you joined would not recognize. Today, we expose the absolute terrifying truth of the Russian Mafia. We will walk you through every single step of this deadly hierarchy, from the lowest freezing street rat who earns barely enough to eat, all the way to the untouchable Pakhan who controls entire cities from behind walls of money, silence, and fear. Every rank, every ruble, every consequence. But before we begin, I need to tell you something about this organization that no documentary has ever properly explained. The Bratva was not built in a boardroom. It was not planned in a mansion. It was built in the chaos of the Soviet Union's collapse, when an entire superpower disappeared almost overnight, and the men who were already operating outside the law suddenly found themselves in a country with almost no law at all. That is where the Bratva was born, not in the shadows. In the open, in the ruins. And what emerged from those ruins has proven more durable than the government that collapsed around it. Now let us walk every rank, starting at the very bottom, where the cold is real, the danger is immediate, and the men above you do not yet know your name. Rank 1, the Shestyorka level 1. The Shestyorka, simply translated, the 6, the lowest card in the deck. And that translation is not an accident. In Russian criminal culture, the 6 is the card that has no power, no face, and no value unless someone above it decides to use it. That is exactly what you are. You are the errand boy, the disposable pawn on the freezing streets of Moscow or St. Petersburg. You have no tattoos because tattoos in the Bratva must be earned, and you have earned nothing yet. You have no respect and you have absolutely no protection from anyone above you. Your daily life consists of stealing cars on request, delivering packages whose contents you are never told and should never ask about, and standing in temperatures that drop to minus 25 degrees, keeping watch for police vehicles on streets that the men inside the warm building behind you own completely. You make between $500 and $1,500 a month, barely enough to survive, but here is the thing about the Shestyorka that most people never understand. The money is not the point. What you are actually doing every single day is auditioning. The men above you are watching everything. Not your toughness, not your connections. They are watching one thing above everything else, whether you can be trusted. If the police arrive, you are the one who gets into the car. You take the fall. You do the time. You keep your mouth completely shut throughout the rest, the questioning, the trial, and the sentencing. And when you come out the other side without having talked, the Bratva remembers. The chance of dying at this rank is high. Most men who start here never make it to the next one. Not because they do something wrong, because they stop showing up. And in this organization, the men who stop showing up are never spoken about again. Drop your answer in the comments right now. If this was your only option, your only way out of poverty in that city at that age, what would you have done? Rank 2, the Boyevik level 2. The Boyevik, the enforcer. And let me tell you immediately what changes the moment you reach this rank, because it is not what most people expect. You might think the promotion brings safety. It does not. What it brings is a weapon. And with that weapon, your real nightmare begins. You are now the muscle of the organization in the most direct and most dangerous sense of that word. Your hands are no longer clean. The blood you spill is the only currency the men above you accept as proof that you are worth keeping around. You are sent into the city to collect debts from desperate business owners. You smash the windows of shops that refuse to pay protection money. You break the bones of anyone who disrespects the family, publicly and visibly in ways that other people see and remember. You are earning between $3,000 and $8,000 a month now. Real money, but you're spending it as fast as it comes in because the Bratva prefers its boyeviks to live in the present, not plan for the future. When a rival gang steps into your territory, you are the first one sent to the front lines. The boyevik rank is the bloodiest rank in the entire Bratva hierarchy. Why our chance of being killed in a shootout or arrested for assault and murder is higher at this level than at any other point in your career? Most men do not survive long enough to see the next rank. They end up dead in an alleyway, or they spend 10 to 15 years in a Russian prison. But if they kept their mouths shut inside, that prison sentence actually counts as resume building in the Bratva. Because a man who survived a Russian prison without breaking is a man the organization can trust with more responsibility. Our ANK3, the Krisha level 3, the Krisha the roof. And that name is not metaphorical. In Russian criminal slang, having a Krisha means having protection from above. Someone whose authority covers you the way a roof covers a building. You are now that protection for others. You are a crew captain. You no longer get your own hands dirty in the streets. Instead, you command a loyal group of boyeviks who answer to you directly. Your job is to oversee a specific territory, extorting money from legitimate businesses, underground casinos, and smuggling routes. You are pulling in anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a month. You drive luxury cars. You wear expensive suits. And for the first time in your criminal career, it feels like you have actually arrived somewhere. But here is what that feeling costs you. The police are now building a dedicated file with your name at the top. And inside your own organization, rival captains who want your territory are watching for any sign of weakness. You sleep with a loaded weapon within reach every single night. Not from habit, from necessity. One wrong move, one sign of weakness, one missed payment to the men above you, and your own boyeviks, the men you trained and fed, will be the ones who carry out the order to replace you. Rank 4, the Sovietnik level 4, the Sovietnik, the advisor. And this is the rank that almost every documentary about the Russian Mafia skips entirely, which is precisely why it is one of the most important positions in the entire organization. If your mind is sharper than your blade, if you think in systems rather than confrontations, you move into something far more powerful and far more invisible. You do not carry a gun. You carry ledgers, offshore bank accounts, and political contact lists that include names that would create international incidents if they were ever made public. Your job is to make the Bratva's money invisible, to take the millions of dollars generated by every level below you and transform it through shell companies and legitimate business investments into money that looks like it was always clean. You earn hundreds of thousands of dollars annually and live in absolute luxury, but your life hangs by a thread that is thinner than anyone looking at your lifestyle would ever guess. You are completely dependent on the boss's favor, and in the Russian underworld, favor is the most volatile currency that exists. If the money goes missing, if a politician you vouched for betrays the family, the boss does not look at the politician. He looks directly at you. Rank 5, the Vorvizakin level 5. The Vorvizakin, thief-in-law. Stop. Before you read another word, understand that most men who spend their entire lives inside the Bratva never reach this rank. Not because they lack ambition, not because they lack violence or loyalty, but because this rank is not given. It is not promoted into. It is voted into existence by men who already hold it. And the standards are ancient, older than the Soviet Union, older than any government that currently exists in Russia. To become a Vorvizakin today, you must be nominated by existing Vori. Your entire criminal history is examined by the council. Every sentence you served, every moment you were under pressure from authorities. A ceremony is held, ancient oaths are spoken, and the tattoos begin. Not decorative tattoos, criminal biography tattoos. Your body becomes a document. Every conviction recorded in ink. Every rank earned marked permanently. Stars on your shoulders mean you kneel to no authority on this earth. A cathedral on your chest means you're served in prison. Each spire is sentence. You are now beyond nationality, beyond politics. A Vorvi Zakone from Moscow is greeted as a brother by a Vor in Berlin, in New York, in Tokyo. You are untouchable in a way that money alone can never buy. Rank 6, the Pakhan level 6. The Pakhan. The boss. The Vorvi Zakone at the very top of the throne. Your body is covered in the intricate tattoos that tell the story of everything you survived to get here, including the legendary 8-pointed stars on your shoulders that announce to every person in this world who can read them that you bow to no one. You control everything. The money, the politicians, the judges, the police commanders, the lives of thousands of men who would accept a prison sentence before they spoke your name to anyone with a badge. You generate millions of dollars every single month through operations that span multiple countries and multiple continents. You live in a heavily guarded compound surrounded by absolute luxury and complete isolation. No one speaks to you without permission. No one enters your presence without being searched. No one knows your schedule in advance. Your communications are conducted through layers of intermediaries so deep that connecting a message to you directly is a legal impossibility. That has defeated the best prosecutors in 3 countries. But here is the truth about the Pakhan that the money and the power cannot hide from you. In the quiet hours of the night, you can trust no one, not your closest advisors, because they have ambitions of their own, not your oldest friends, because friendship in this world has always had a price, not even your family, because the Bratva has used family before, and you have used it yourself. And you know exactly what that means. Every meal could be poisoned. Every meeting could be a trap. Every man who smiles at you is calculating something. You have achieved the absolute pinnacle of the Russian underworld. You have survived things that destroyed every other man who attempted the same climb. And you will spend every remaining day of your life looking over your shoulder, waiting for the moment when the shadows that built you finally decide it is time to come for you. 6 ranks. 1 code. A brotherhood forged not in luxury, but in the harshest, coldest, most unforgiving places that human civilization has ever produced. From a freezing street rat worth less than the packages he carries, to the untouchable Pakhan whose whisper moves entire cities. The Russian Bratva did not build its empire through chaos. It built it through a code older than the country it operates in. A code that survived the Tsars, survived Stalin, survived the collapse of the Soviet Union, and has survived every law enforcement effort in modern history. This was your life inside the Russian Mafia. Every rank, every ruble, every consequence. Now tell me in the comments, which rank do you think carries the highest price? Not the most money, the highest price. Because the answer is not the rank most people pick. Subscribe to Dark Ranks, because next time, we go inside an organization so secretive that its senior members have never confirmed it exists, even under oath. In court, on the record. You will not want to miss it.